It was supposed to be a moment of light-hearted fun. A Coldplay concert, a sold-out crowd, a kiss cam floating across the stadium. But when the lens landed on two reserved, seemingly startled faces, no one could have predicted what would happen next.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
The moment lasted just 15 seconds, but it exploded across TikTok in a matter of hours. The man with his arm wrapped around the woman. That was Byron, CEO of Astronomer Inc., one of the fastest-growing data orchestration startups in tech. And the woman, Kristin Cabot, the company's chief people officer, both of them married. Both of them are on the same executive team. And both are now at the center of a scandal that has sent shockwaves across Silicon Valley. Within 24 hours, their faces were everywhere. Twitter threads, meme pages, LinkedIn debates, and even primetime news. By morning, the story had gone global, and Astronomer Inc., once best known for its elegant data tools, was now trending for all the wrong reasons. But what really happened that night? Was this just a personal affair caught on camera, or the symptom of something deeper inside one of tech's most promising companies? What began as a meme has now triggered a board-led investigation, 2 executive leaves, and a brand crisis with no clear end in sight. This is not just a scandal. This is a developing story about power, perception, and the price of blurred boundaries in the modern workplace. And what happens next could change everything. The clip surfaced the evening of July 17th. A TikTok user posted a brief video from Coldplay's concert at Gillette Stadium. The kiss cam scanned the crowd and landed on a couple arm in arm. Close, maybe too close. The camera lingered. Then came a shift. The woman covered her flustered face. The man ducked down. The moment was awkward, loaded, and suddenly very viral. By the next morning, the video had over 15 million views. Amateur sleuths quickly identified the couple as Byron and Kristin Cabot. Public bios, conference photos, and team pages all matched. Then came the media outlets, CBS, Fox, Business Insider, Axios. All confirmed their executive roles at Astronomer Inc., and all confirmed the central twist: both were married to other people. Within hours, Astronomer's LinkedIn page was flooded with comments, satirical posts, furious reactions, demands for accountability. Rumors also spiraled fast. Some claimed another employee was involved. Others fabricated fake apology letters. The company moved to disable comments and shut down speculation, but the fire was already burning. Internally, things weren't any calmer. Sources reported shock, disappointment, and confusion within Astronomer's ranks. Employees described the mood as numb, betrayed, and gutted. One former team member told the New York Post that the CEO had fostered a toxic culture and that this scandal was just a public symptom of deeper problems. On July 18th, the company broke its silence. Astronomer issued a public statement, confirming that the board of directors had launched a formal investigation. It emphasized a commitment to its values and held up accountability as a core principle. Importantly, it also clarified that no other employees were involved and that the CEO himself had made no public statement pushing back against faked apology posts. That same day, Astronomer named co-founder Pete DeJoy as interim CEO. Byron and Cabot were now on leave. But the headlines didn't stop. Articles kept coming. Engagements on the original video tripled. No, Astronomer wasn't just a startup, it was a scandal brand. A case study in real time. By Friday, The video had passed 74 million views on TikTok. Chris Martin's off-the-cuff comment, "They're either having an affair or they're just very shy," had gone from stadium joke to internet prophecy, but underneath the humor, there was something more serious at stake. This wasn't just about who was kissing who, it was about the culture inside a company that had built itself on values. It was about trust, power, and professionalism. And as the video kept playing, so did the questions. What else was going on at Astronomer? Astronomer Inc. isn't a household name yet, but in the world of data engineering and analytics, it's a rising star. The company's core product, Apache Airflow, is used by Fortune 500s to orchestrate complex data pipelines. Their promise: clean, efficient, observable data movement, and fast. Founded in 2018, the Cincinnati-based startup was known for its sharp focus and passionate team. Investors flocked to it. In 2021, they closed a $43 million Series C. By May 2025, they had secured Series D funding. The valuation, rumored to be north of $800 million, Andy Byron joined Astronomer as president in 2021, bringing decades of SaaS experience. By 2022, he was CEO. Known for his charisma and strategic clarity, Byron was the face of Astronomer's new era. Under him, the company scaled fast, recruited top-tier talent, and pushed deep into enterprise markets. Kristin Cabot joined around the same time, taking on the role of Chief People Officer with a background in organizational psychology and leadership development. She was tasked with shaping Astronomer's internal culture, one built around empathy, ownership, and transparency. Publicly, the executive team presented a unified front. Conference panels, podcast, interviews, blog posts, all spoke to a deeply aligned leadership team with strong moral fiber. But insiders hinted at tension. Former employees described a leadership culture that was intense. Some said it felt like a cult of personality centered around Byron. Over the past year, several quiet departures raised eyebrows. Key team leads left, engineering turnover increased. Yet the company maintained its public image. The Airflow Summit went off without a hitch. Customer case studies kept rolling. To the outside world, Astronomer looked like a rocket ship. But there were warning signs. In early 2025, anonymous Glassdoor reviews began describing blurred boundaries between execs. Others spoke of favoritism and a lack of HR accountability. The company dismissed these as noise. But after the Kiss Cam clip, they no longer looked random. They looked prophetic. Privately, sources say concerns had been raised about Byron's leadership style. Some board members had allegedly flagged interpersonal issues, but with strong growth numbers and solid investor support, there was little appetite for change. That is, until Coldplay. Astronomer had hours, not days, to respond. The internet doesn't wait. And in the vacuum of clarity, chaos thrives. Their first statement dropped July 18th on LinkedIn and X. It was measured, corporate, but clear. The board had initiated a formal investigation. It affirmed the company's values. It denied that other employees were involved. And crucially, it stated that Andy Byron had made no public statement, discrediting the fake apology floating around social media. Hours later, the company released a second, more decisive update. Byron had been placed on leave. Co-founder Pete DeJoy would serve as interim CEO. The post also reiterated the company's commitment to a respectful, values-driven culture. But the storm was still raging. By now, the original video had reached millions more. Screenshots of the couple, memes of the Kiss Cam moment, Threads speculating on HR policies, articles comparing this to the McDonald's CEO scandal of 2019. Astronomer was now part of a canon of workplace affairs gone public. The company took action. Comments on social media were disabled. Public profiles of Cabot and Byron were set to private. A small media relations team began working overtime, pushing out corrections, clarifying hoaxes, and reinforcing the narrative. This is being taken seriously, and due process is underway. Yet the silence from the people at the center, Byron and Cabot, was deafening. Neither made a statement, neither posted, neither apologized. That silence created a vacuum, one that public imagination quickly filled. Internally, sources say employees were called into all-hands meetings. HR circulated updates. Some teams reportedly expressed frustration. Others defended the company's process. But the larger question lingered. How did the leaders of a culture-focused startup lose sight of their own policies? By July 19th, Astronomer was everywhere, and not for its product. What had taken years to build in quiet precision was now overshadowed by a 15-second clip and two names: Byron and Cabot. Investors began asking questions. Customers, too. The story was covered in India, the UK, and across Europe. Tech blogs dissected the implications. Was the board strong enough? Was the culture really what it claimed to be? Would Byron return? For now, the answers are unclear. Multiple former employees stepped forward anonymously. One described Byron as manipulative. Another called the exec team untouchable. Business Insider quoted HR professionals who said the incident would be studied for years as a cautionary tale about blurred workplace boundaries. Recruiters confirmed that some talent had already backed out of interview processes, an internal morale shaken. The people team, formerly led by Cabot, was left to pick up the pieces. Still, Astronomer isn't folding. Interim CEO Pete DeJoy is well respected. The board has committed to transparency, and the investigation is ongoing, but the damage is done. The brand has taken a hit that SEO can't fix, and the industry is watching, because this wasn't about misusing company funds or breaking the law. It was about perception, trust, and whether leaders live by the values they demand of others. As of this report, both Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot remain on leave. No official updates have been given about the status of the investigation. The company has declined further comment. What happens next will define Astronomer's future. If the board finds that no policies were broken, Byron could return, but the reputational damage may be irreversible. Stakeholders may push for a new era, one without blurred lines. More importantly, the internal culture must be rebuilt. Employees deserve clarity, consistency, and leaders they can trust. That trust will not return overnight, but transparency, even in pain, is a start. In the bigger picture, this story is a wake-up call for startups everywhere. Culture isn't just ping-pong tables and Slack emojis. It's how power is used, how leaders behave when no one's watching, and what a company does when that changes. If Astronomer can weather this, it will do so because of its people, not its PR. This story teaches us that brand power is not just built in boardrooms. It's built in everyday behavior, quiet choices, and the standards leaders set for themselves. The next time you're in a position of influence, remember, your actions don't just represent you. They represent everything you say you stand for. Should Byron return? Should leaders be held to a different standard? What would you do if this happened at your company? Leave us a comment below. If stories like this matter to you, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We'll keep following the fallout and what it means for the future of leadership and brand integrity.